back to Land Survey Learn. I'm Candace, and I'm joined by Mike. Today's session is, well, it's the Keep Your Nose Clean episode.
That's one way to put it. We're moving into the final parts of the Act that deal with what happens when things go wrong. Reporting, discipline, and the administrative side of keeping your license active. It's not just about the math and the mud, folks. It's about the ethics and the law.
We're starting with Article 5.7, Section 8776. This is the self-reporting requirement. Mike, in your early days, did you have to report your own legal troubles to the board?
Not like this. This article became operative in 2008. Before that, the board usually found out about issues through complaints or the grapevine. Now, the burden is on you. Under 8776A, you have 90 days from the moment you have knowledge of a reportable event to tell the board in writing.
And reportable events aren't just minor traffic tickets. We're talking any felony conviction or any crime substantially related to the duties of a surveyor. But it's the civil side that really trips people up. Mike, break down those dollar amounts for us.
Right. Listen closely because these are classic exam numbers. If you settle a civil action or an administrative action for more than $50,000 and it alleges fraud, negligence, incompetence, or breach of contract, you have to report it.
But if it goes to a full judgment or a binding arbitration award, meaning a judge or arbitrator orders the payment, that threshold drops to $25,000.
Exactly. Settlements at $50K, judgments at $25K. And under 8776F, a conviction counts the second that plea is entered or the verdict is read. You can't wait 3 years for your appeals to finish before telling the board. You tell them now.
Now, a common question is, do I have to snitch on my partner? Section 8776D says no, you don't have a duty to report other licensees. However, 8776.3 makes it clear that if your firm is the one sued, and you were the licensee in responsible charge of that project, you are the one who has to report it.
And don't think you can hide behind a confidential settlement agreement. Section 8776.4 explicitly says you aren't violating an NDA by reporting to the board. The law requires it, so the NDA can't stop it.
Let's move to Article 6, Disciplinary Proceedings. This starts at Section 8780. The board doesn't just sit around waiting for phones to ring. They can investigate on their own initiative.
When they do find something, they have a few tools in the shed. By a majority vote, they can publicly reprove you, which is basically a formal shame on you on your public record, or they can suspend you for up to 2 years or just flat out revoke your license.
The grounds for this are what I call the surveyor's sins: fraud, deceit, negligence, or incompetence. But notice Section 8780.8. Even a breach of contract can lead to losing your license.
That's a big one. If you promise a map by Tuesday, take the money, and then disappear for 6 months, you aren't just a bad businessman, you're in violation of the Act.
And for our students, Section 8780.2. If the board sends you a written request during an investigation and you ignore it, that's an automatic cause for discipline. You have to play ball.
If the worst happens and a license is revoked, it's not necessarily the end of the road, but it's a long walk back. Section 8785 covers petitions for reinstatement. Generally, you have to wait 3 years before you can even ask the board to give your license back.
And it's a high bar. You have the burden of proof to show clear and convincing evidence that you are rehabilitated. You can't even petition if you're still on criminal probation or parole.
Let's lighten the mood slightly with Article 7, Offenses. These are the misdemeanors. Section 8792 is the Don't Do This list. It's illegal to practice without a license, obviously, but it's also a crime to use a deceased person's seal or to use an expired or revoked license.
And check out 8792.j. You can't even manage a surveying business unless you're licensed. You can't have a silent partner who isn't a surveyor running the show.
One more for the experts. Section 8790.5. If you're hired as an expert witness and you see a violation of the Act, you can report it to the board even if you signed a non-disclosure agreement. Your duty to the profession comes before your duty to the attorney's secret.
Okay, let's finish with the logistics of licensure in Article 8. Section 8001 says our licenses expire every 2 years on a staggered quarterly basis. Mike, what's the biggest change you've seen here recently?
Oh, definitely the 2024 update in Section 8801.1. Every time you renew now, you have to take an assessment.
Don't let that word assessment scare you. It's an online program designed to reinforce your knowledge of the law. It focuses on the board's top 5 most common violations. It's free, and it won't stop your renewal, but if you don't do it within 60 days of your license expiring, the board can come after you for discipline.
It's a continuing education light. I think it's a great way to make sure we're all not just coasting on what we learned in the 90s.
Speaking of time passing, Section 8803 is the point of no return. You have 5 years to renew an expired license. If you hit 5 years and 1 day, your license is canceled.
Gone. Poof. If you want it back after that, you have to apply as a brand new applicant. That means passing the exams again, the national and the state. I don't know about you, Candace, but I don't want to sit in a room for 8 hours with a calculator ever again.
I'm with you there. Let's talk fees to close us out. Section 8805 caps the costs. The PLS application and the renewal are both capped at $400. The LSIT is much cheaper, capped at $100.
And if you're ready to hang up the boots, you can get a retired license for half the price of the application fee. It lets you keep the title without the liability of active practice.
Just remember, once you're retired or expired, you cannot practice. Section 8803.1 says the board still has jurisdiction over you for any work you did while you were licensed, but you can't sign any new maps.
Well, that's the law and order of the Surveyors Act. It's about protecting the public and the integrity of the profession.
Exactly. Keep your email updated with the board, that's Section 8753 from Part 1, and keep an eye on your renewal dates.
Thanks for sticking with us through the legal weeds. Please like and subscribe. If you have any survey topics that you want us to go over for the next episode, please leave us a comment.
Thanks for listening to Land Survey Learn. We hope this was beneficial for you. We'll see you on the next line.